Welcome everyone to the next episode of All Gas, No Linkin Park. Fucking
All gas.
no, all gas. Linkin Park is trash. That's the new name of the podcast.
Or as I've seen on numerous in numerous comment sections, L. Ron Park is the new.
Oh shit, that's a good one.
It's pretty funny, but I mean, I'm sure somebody's gonna come up with something fucking Xenu Park or something.
Oh, dude, man,
Dianetics Park,
the Church of Lincolnology. Oh man. Anyways, my name's Josh. I'm here today with the host here, good buddy Adam.
Yeah, I really should take initiative and just start introducing everything, but at this point, we're in so deep that.
Why change now?
Why change it now? Why change it now? So
honestly, I think people enjoy the plugs at the beginning and the end of the episode. Well, not the end because they just turn it off as soon as we start talking about plugging at the end. But whatever, that's up to them.
True story.
They have to hear it at the beginning. They have no choice. So
speaking of plugs,
indeed, if you want to get plugged up, you go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok, at Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. And if you really want Scott Steiner and Big Papa Pump to holler if you hear him.
Man, I'm the big bad booty daddy. I get bitches 9 days of the week. Actually, I don't know if that's what he says.
That is what he says. He's like, he's like, man, I get bitches 9 days of the week. And then Bump Ray Dudley says, there's only 7 days in a week. And he goes, oh man, y'all the big booty daddy. You don't know. So anyways, if you really want to do all that, and if you want to get bitches 9 days out of the week, you should go to YouTube and follow Game Rage Magazine. Like, comment, and subscribe Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. I did hear a new study that just came out that said you are 22% more likely to increase your level of Riz to attract the Giots if you listen to Game Rage Magazine on YouTube.
I also heard that you're 15% more likely to get all the trophies and all the achievements for different video games if you listen to any podcast from Game Rage Magazine.
That's true. And speaking of video games, I did see the new study that was put out and sponsored by Activision themselves, where they said that if you listen to any podcast by Game Rage Magazine, you will automatically get a free code to upgrade to Prestige mode straight out the bat from the new Black Ops 6.
I don't know about that one. We might
No, that's a lie. I made that up.
We might get... That statement shall be retracted for the purpose that we don't get sued by fucking Activision.
Oh, they wouldn't sue us.
Yeah, we're not that important.
Yeah.
What are you gonna sue us for? Fucking pennies, dude.
Fucking nothing.
Do you want
our opinions?
Yeah. Do you want to sue us for negative $1,000 yearly?
That's what they do. They say, okay, fine. Since you guys have nothing and you actually lose money doing this, you just get to be our slaves and you have to do all our shit for us. You have to do all your shit and do it for us.
So we get a job out of this?
No, slaves. I said slaves. They're not gonna pay us.
Oh, slave, right. No, they're just going to harvest losses and use us as because we're worth negative $30 million.
That's true. Yeah, they're going to use us as a tax write-off.
Please listen to us on Game Rage Magazine, the YouTube channel.
Yeah,
at Game Rage Magazine, Game Rage Mag on Twitter, Game Rage Magazine, Instagram and TikTok. And I think we covered all of it.
All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram.
Oh, yeah,
Anime_syndicate_podcast on Instagram as well.
For the comics and cartoons from the Japans.
Indeed. All right, let's get into talking shit about Linkin Park.
Oh, hooray! My favorite thing to do in the last 2 weeks
is talk shit about Linkin Park.
Yes. So, as you may have heard from the previous episode, if you just wanted a little break, you could have listened to the previous episode about an artist locally from Los Angeles, August Eve / Evita. And we briefly touched on some of the things that we had talked about as far as Linkin Park, namely that there was an interview dropped from Apple with Zane Lowe, because he has his own podcast or fucking show on whatever bullshit. I forget.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck who this motherfucker is. But the level of dick riding that was in this interview was unheard of. But the crux of what I personally took away from this episode or this podcast, this interview that was had, I'm under the belief that management and the booking agencies guided Mike Shinoda into bringing back Linkin Park. And maybe he already had ideations about bringing this band back. But like part of the interview that was confusing is, okay, so we've somewhat established that in 2019 that Emily Armstrong and Mike Shinoda and this new drummer Colin had, in some capacity from 2019 to now, had been interacting with one another, not knowing whether this was going to amount to anything, because as per the interview, especially like, you know, I think it's somewhere between 31 minutes and 38 minutes that you can look at and hear this particular part of the conversation, where Mike Shinoda says that they didn't know what was going to happen if they brought back Linkin Park. They didn't know if they were going to have multiple backup singers and if Mike Shinoda was going to be the person that was going to be heavy on the vocals. They didn't know if Emily Armstrong was just going to be a featured artist on this album that they didn't know was going to be Linkin Park. So why is the booking agency, why is the management telling them, hey, let's get some fucking dates lined up, not knowing if like the band was even fucking interested? Like, yeah, some of the guys, like I think the dude's name is Joe, who's like the dude on the turntables and shit. Yeah. Like he had interest in reprising the Linkin Park name to start making music again. But the other three guys, I'm not really sure that they were on board, because this interview was posted, I think, or rather it was recorded prior to the secret show that was had at some studio, right?
Oh yeah, this was recorded prior to the announcement that this was even going to happen.
Okay, so we hear like Brad Delson, who's the guitar player, right?
Yeah.
Who is, you know, saying, oh, Emily Armstrong brought in good fucking vibes, and we just thought, oh yeah, she was going to be the person. But why say that, and then the day after this stuff comes out about Emily Armstrong, why does he decide, oh, I'm only going to be involved in the studio recordings. I'm only going to be involved in the studio and not the live touring?
Yeah. I think there's a disconnect there, right? This interview with Zane Lowe, right? That's the guy's name. This was also very, and I'm not going to necessarily, I mean, I don't give a shit about Zane Lowe, but I mean, I don't have a positive or a negative thing to say about Zane Lowe because I don't fucking know shit about him other than this interview.
Yeah,
But yeah, fuck that guy anyway.
That guy.
I mean, I will say he was ball riding. He was ball licking and ball riding this whole fucking interview, and that's probably the reason why he got the interview. Because that's how this shit all works, right? If you're not going to suck them off, then they're going to go with somebody who will. So this. And this is what I will say, even though I don't know the guy or the Zane Lowe, or I don't know anything about him, I will say this as a general blanket statement with most media personalities and personnel that do interviews and such. They primarily meat ride and ball suck because that's how you get the interviews. Because they're not going to go and talk to you if you're just going to ask the hard questions most of the time.
Especially with these ones, especially with this specific case.
Yes. And so I will say that Mike Shinoda was basically, as I think you pointed this out, trying to like over-explain
or be defensive about what he was saying. Because when Emily, I don't remember if Zane Lowe asked her a question, but she's like, oh yeah, I knew this was going to be a thing because the booking agents, and then Mike Shinoda's like, oh, hold up.
Like,
wait. Yeah. He's like, no, this was organic. Why did he push so hard for that? Like, why did he get so defensive? It was so odd.
Yeah, because that's the narrative. That's the narrative that they are pushing, is that this was organic. And there's some things I'm going to say after we talk about the interview, because they did the first show on the tour. The LA Forum show was 9/11. It was yesterday.
Okay, yeah.
So, or wait, let's say the 12th. Yeah, so it was yesterday.
Yeah.
There's some things about that show that I thought were very interesting.
Okay.
But we'll talk about. We need to talk about that after we go finish the little interview section.
Okay.
So, I did think it was very odd the way he was. I don't want to say the term mansplaining because that's not what it was, but he was just like, oh no, no, this, and this. Oh, hey. And then he would just kind of, what's the word? He was he was like commandeering the interview. And I get it. Mike Shinoda is the name. Let's not make a mistake about it. He's Linkin Park. The other guys maybe are just, they're members, but like Mike Shinoda's the name brand. He's the household name, right?
Within Linkin Park, yes. Like
Currently.
if you wanted to know the members, the ones that would stand out would be
him,
Chester Bennington,
and Chester. Those were the two.
And Mike Shinoda.
Those were the two that everybody knew. Now everybody knows Emily Armstrong.
For the wrong reasons.
Wrong reasons.
So, talking about that specific thing, as I mentioned before, it was wishy-washy about how involved Emily Armstrong was to that point. Whether she was going to be a featured vocalist or if she was in fact part of the band. And then post that part, Mike Shinoda is like, Emily Armstrong's like in the band, right guys? Right guys?
Yeah.
Because who the fuck is gonna say no to that? When all the other guys are not as notable as Mike Shinoda, right? Who's like the producer of the band, and he plays like the synthesizer, he plays the fucking guitar, he does a lot of things. And the other guys, I mean, they probably have their role in the band, but it's not to the degree, it's not integral to the degree of Mike Shinoda, right? So you have to believe that there's somewhat politics in the band itself, that this dude can kind of dictate what happens, because as I was saying before, he makes it very clear. He's like, I've been working with Emily Armstrong and Colin, so they're basically in the band.
Yeah, they're in the band, guys, right?
Yeah, right.
Why does he have to be like, right, guys? Come on, everybody. And they're kind of like, yeah.
So I don't know.
I swear to God, it feels like we're watching a goddamn ISIS hostage video, and there's a dude off screen fucking pointing a gun at him saying, you better fucking act a little more fucking, little more enthusiastic there, buddy.
Yeah, and couple that with the original drummer dropping out 4 years ago.
Yeah. Right around the time when, like,
this supposedly happened, right?
Yeah, that's very strange. Well, if you look at the timeline of them making albums, they had to have started on this at least 2.5 years ago. Maybe even closer to 3 years ago. Because the album's coming out in November. So he was probably like, they were probably kind of dicking around thinking about doing this. And he was kind of like, I don't know, guys. And then once it started to materialize, I feel like that's when he was like, you know what, I need to step away from this.
So Rob Borden drops out because it's too close to home. It still feels raw. Understandable. Mm-hmm. Brad Delson on board. Decides to flip the day after these things start to come out.
Yeah.
That's two. I don't know how many members are in Linkin Park. Let's say it's six.
Six, yeah.
So you have 1/3 that are convinced that this probably is not the way to go.
Yeah.
That for me is like somewhat close enough to the dissent within the group itself that they're not really sure if this is going to work out. And now we have a few other things that came up. We had, I think somebody, the wife of, let me see if I saved the fucking, hopefully I saved a screenshot of the photo of the person that wrote these Instagram posts. I think it was like the wife of one of the members of At the Drive-In, and she was publicly shaming Emily Armstrong for being vague about the Danny Masterson case, because she was a victim herself of Danny Masterson.
Right.
And on top of this, she was friends with this guy. I'm referring to Emily Armstrong, Danny Masterson.
Right, yeah.
That she was intimidating the victims in the bathroom, like during the bathroom breaks and shit. So it's like, you gave a vague apology that really wasn't an apology. Now you have this person saying all these things that are probably true. This wife of this member from At the Drive-In. And then you also have the son of Chester Bennington coming out and saying that he's not endorsing this fucking iteration, this incarnation of Linkin Park for the reasons that many people would believe that this is wrong, because Scientology does not believe that psychiatry nor psychology are legitimate. That
Right.
anybody that has, any mental health issues, well, fuck, whatever. That doesn't apply to Scientology. So it is a lot of the beliefs that people have had that Chester Bennington is somebody that was, if I'm understanding correctly, he was sexually assaulted when he was younger, right?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, that's the...
Sexually assaulted, but also had mental health issues.
Right.
So you're going from somebody that advocated for that to somebody that is negligent or doesn't believe in that.
Yeah.
Which is seemingly worse. So it's like
Right, yeah.
the other side of the coin. So we're like, I don't know, man. That to me doesn't add up. And the fact that Mike Shinoda is still going with this person for the next, at least for the foreseeable future, with these 6 tour dates, like, how are you not going to make that money? But also, I think you're also pissing off a lot of people, a lot of fans. And there does seem to be something of a dissent between the fans that think that this is kind of disrespectful to the memory of Chester Bennington.
Yeah.
And there's also the other lot that believe, no, this is good. Like, this is worthy of Chester Bennington's memory. This is an honor. This is tasteful. We want to see this new iteration of Linkin Park. But I don't know, man. I'm not buying it. I'm not fucking buying it. So what do you have to say about this matter?
So I'm going to talk a little bit about how the proof and the facts of numbers and what's coming out and why I think that this was all about money to begin with in the long run. And I don't know the others. I don't know the seating arrangements for the other arenas that they're doing on this tour, right? The 5 seats.
Well, I mean, for the
I
forum,
have
like
the forum. I have the forum. I have the numbers. So
what is it? Is 18,000?
17,000. It says they sold over 17,000 tickets, which means it's probably like
sold out.
17.
It's sold out.
Well, yeah, they sold it out, but that means it's probably somewhere around 17,500. It didn't hit quite 18,000, but they're not going to be like, oh, it was. They just round to the nearest 1,000, right? Like that's what they do. So it was 17,000. We're just going to say that's the base number. So I looked up on Vivid Geek, SeatGeek. Okay, the original retail sale of these tickets, the average price was $189 per ticket. Okay, that's the average price.
I was expecting worse.
Not bad. Okay, that's not bad. However, when you look at, I was expecting worse too, but I actually also kind of wasn't, because this isn't the nostalgia act Linkin Park. It's something different. They can't charge $500-$600 a ticket yet.
They could if it was just
if
Chester
it was Chester. They could charge $10,000. Well, listen, if it was Chester, they likely would have never stopped touring to begin with. So this would have been a whole complete different thing. So one of the things that I did the math on, just 17,000 times 189 is $3.2 million. Okay, that's just for one 2-hour show. Okay, in ticket sales. Now, if we look at, there's a couple different metrics, but there's people that have essentially, a shirt is $40, all right, average at one of these events. And if you have an exclusive shirt, that's the Kia Forum shirt, let's say you make 10,000 of them.
All right. Does Live Nation run this shit?
Kia Forum?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't think so, but who owns the Kia Forum? Let's just see.
Yeah, you would have to figure that the...
Okay, so Clippers owner Steve Ballmer owns the Forum himself.
Oh, he owns the Forum. No wonder he fucking put that new Inglewood...
Yeah, well, that's what they built the new stadium. That was part of the deal. As long as he bought the Kia Forum, they were going to allow him, the city was going to allow him to build a new stadium. That was part of the deal. He had to buy the Forum and take care of it, which...
I think there's probably a real possibility, on a side tangent, that thing might get... I mean, sure, it's for the nostalgia, it's probably going to remain there for, let's say, another 15 years. But I think there's probably real consideration that place is going to get demolished at some point so you can build an actual arena fucking thing.
Yeah, it'll be another arena. It'll be, I don't know what they'll exactly do, but it'll be something to that effect. I'm trying to just find the Kia Forum real quick because I just want to see who owned it previously.
Damn, I didn't know Steve Ballmer fucking owned that. That's wild.
Yeah, I remember I looked that up when we went to go see the the WWE event last year at the Forum, which I will say the Forum is a fucking great arena. Like, it's a nice fucking arena.
It's cool, yeah.
It's cool, man. It's like historic. It's nostalgic. Like, I like it.
Yeah. I would just say the rafters. Like, once you get to the higher end, you kind of
it's harder to see.
Your fucking head. Yeah.
It's harder to see, but like, you know, it is what it is. So, okay, so you look at that right there, right? $3 million. Let's just say they're doing 6 shows. Let's just say it's 17,000 seats. Let's say it's an average. You're looking at $18 million right there just in ticket sales alone. And then whatever their split's going to be on fucking merch, on fucking whatever, like the bar, or what, I mean, who knows, whatever. Linkin Park obviously stands to make a lot of money off of this, as does their record label and their management and everyone that's involved, because everyone's getting a piece of this pie. Additionally, one of the things that was very fucking disturbing to me when I read this yesterday, because I found a leaked version of I found a leaked version, but then now there's an official version of the, not the card, what is it, the playbill or whatever, like there's a set list.
Right.
So
I just want to quickly add, before you get to that, at the drive-in, Cedric Bixler Zavala is the member of At the Drive-In that made his own post about denouncing the Emily Armstrong being added to Linkin Park, but also his wife Chrissy Zavala, who made the lengthy post about why Emily Armstrong is problematic. So, anyways, go ahead.
The Madison Square Garden people owned the Forum before Steve Ballmer. That's who he bought it from.
What is that, like rock?
MSG. It's called MSG Company. Like, they own. What do they own? They own a bunch of shit. They probably have some Live Nation fucking shares or some shit. I'm sure.
Man, I was like, okay, maybe. I'm like, I don't know if Jay-Z fucking own. I think he's a part owner in the Brooklyn Nets, but I don't know why I was thinking he'd be part owner in fucking Inglewood, the Inglewood Forum. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah. So anyways, okay. So, NRG, what is that? Anschutz Entertainment Group, AEG?
AEG, yeah. They used to own it?
It says, this is talking about the Hartford Civic Center. All right, never mind. That must be something different. Anyways, wait, what's NRG?
I don't know.
Oh, it's some esports fucking thing. Well, whatever. Anyways, back to this though. So the set list was out. And the set list, this is my example, because there's a lot of people, the seethe and cope and amounts of copium that the marks are fucking on right now is insane. And there's people that talk all this shit that say you're not a real Linkin Park fan. Like, I've seen these TikToks where it's like, oh, real Linkin Park fans, if you hear the new song, and then people are like, oh yeah, all right, like rocking out, and I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck who you are. You don't get to tell anybody if you're a real fan or not.
That's gatekeep.
That is gatekeeping to the extreme. And listen, as I've said before, I've been around since day fucking one. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you're a piece of shit if you agree with this. I don't agree with this. I think this is horse shit. I think it's disingenuous. I think it's about money. I think there's a lot of other factors going on. And I also think it's extremely disrespectful to the memory of Chester, basically the soul of the band, or the heart and soul of the band. Mike Shinoda was the brain. Chester was the heart and the soul of Linkin Park. Okay? I think this is extremely disrespectful. And one of the reasons why I think this is extremely disrespectful is because when you look at the set list, I had said before, I don't need to see Linkin Park featuring Emily Armstrong doing the hits. Okay? I don't need to see that. We got a 27-song set list, all of which, every single song was one of the hits. And in addition to that...
Every single song?
They didn't even play any songs off of this new fucking album. So there were 2 fucking songs. There was a song called Keys to the Kingdom and a song called Friendly Fire. Those 2 songs were previous Linkin Park songs that had never been played live. There is no rendition that exists of Chester Bennington doing this song live. And now you let her do this song, the hits, 2 songs that never got played for the first time live. That's the ultimate disrespect. I can't fucking go on with this.
Damn, dude. Why?
I agree. What was the reason? There's no reason that you needed to do that. You didn't need to fucking do that. I don't understand. And this is, again, if this whole tour is not about, it doesn't matter how well this new album does. All that it matters is that this tour fucking sells out 6 dates, and then they're going to, people could give a fuck if the album's good or not. They just want to hear the hits, and the marks will show up. As we saw, the Kia Forum, 17,000 fucking plus. LA, SoCal, Linkin Park fucking marks showed up. They paid the money. They bought the merch. They are buying into this.
All right. Do you think people would have walked out if they played the entire album, this whole album that's supposed to come out, is it this month? At the end of the month?
November. It's like the beginning of November.
Okay, November. Do you think people would have walked out and be like, fuck, man, I paid $189 to go see Linkin Park.
Play some shit I've never heard before. See that? Okay, that's the thing, though.
Because, yeah.
The marks are the ones who showed up. I don't think the marks would have walked out. I'm sure you would have had some of that, but it doesn't make any sense why they're not trying to promote this new album by at least playing the single. Why would you not perform the single live as part of the first show ever of Linkin Park featuring Emily Armstrong? Why wouldn't you play the publicly released single?
Or aside from the studio performance, the secret live YouTube streaming that they did.
That doesn't even count. I don't even count that. Why wouldn't you play the single at the goddamn Kia Forum in front of 17,000 plus people at a concert? So that makes me question, are any of these next 5 dates gonna have any songs from this new album played live? Because my venture would be to say no. And the reason for that is because if this tour does well, these 6 dates, the next tour they're gonna do at beginning of 2025 is gonna be Linkin Park From Zero, the tour. That's what it's gonna be called, From Zero World Tour. And it's literally gonna be them doing this whole album plus some of the hits.
Yeah, it's risk loss management.
And it's to get people, because if you blow your load on this new album now, maybe people aren't going to show up to come hear it again.
Yep.
So now you're just doubling your money, which again, that's strategic, that's tactical, that has not
nothing
respectful.
to do with Chester.
It's not respectful. It's all about money. This isn't about honoring Chester. That all is out the window. This proves to me, this set list, this bullshit proves to me that there is no consideration for Chester Bennington anymore. They are slowly erasing him from the history books of Linkin Park. Because I guarantee you, the next album they're going to put out is going to be a compilation album. And it's going to be Linkin Park, something, you know how they did Reanimation, which was like they remixed some of their songs?
Yeah.
It'll be some bullshit like that, but it's not going to be remixed. It'll just be the songs. Instead of Chester, it's going to be In the End, fucking, shit. I don't know why I'm blanking on Linkin Park songs, but fucking Crawling. It's going to be like all the hits featuring her as the singer, and they're going to remove Chester. And slowly but surely, they are going to erase him from the legacy. Because right now, for the first 12 to 18 months, Mike Shinoda, oh, Chester, we love you, man. You're here with all of us, right?
Playing the role of Chester Bennington.
Emily Armstrong.
You, the fans.
You're you, the fans, yeah. That will last for 12 months. And then after that, we will never hear the name Chester Bennington again. That is my prediction. And that's what pisses me off. I do think that Emily Armstrong is going to quit. I don't think she has what it takes to take the hate and the heat that's about to happen to her, or that's kind of already started. I don't think she's going to last. And I think that it's not going to be her decision to quit. It's going to be the record label saying, hey.
But it will be recorded as if it were voluntarily.
She's going to do this album. This album already got done. They're already invested. She's going to do this in the next world tour. And then after the next world tour for this album From Zero, they will likely go to that thing that he was, because why would Mike Shinoda say about, oh, well, it's kind of like guest, things, but then, but no, she's in the band now, guys, right?
That's the part that fucking gets me, is that he kind of belittled her in front of millions of people that were watching this interview. He kind of belittled her and said, oh, we only had thought of you as maybe a feature.
Right. It's risk management, like you had said. He's now hedging the bet to say, oh, well, see, guys, I did say that she was going to be,
Featured.
So then when they get rid of her, because it's not working out.
I already said it.
And then if they're smart, and this is shrewd businessman Josh talking right here. This has nothing to do with my love for Linkin Park or Chester, right? This is shrewd businessman Josh. If you want to recover from this, you have no fucking choice but to bring in a top tier talent to replace this chick, because now it would be seen, and this may be the strategy all along, to bring in a nobody, you burn them as the replacement for Chester Bennington, and then you bring in, let's just say my example, who I would like to have seen would be Amy Lee from Evanescence. If you bring that top tier talent in, she's not Amy Lee replacing Chester Bennington, she's Amy Lee replacing Emily Armstrong, the hot garbage. And then that sells it even harder to everyone else.
It's an easier sell.
Yes, so it's like wrestling. You're like literally Emily Armstrong is a jobber right now. She's jobbing for whoever the next person's gonna be as this lead singer. There's a dude from Hollywood Undead. I fucking forget the guy's name. I gotta look it up. Singer. It's I think it's Charlie Steen. Is this the guy's name?
Charlie Steen or Charlie
Scene, like Scene. I think that's the guy's name. Because he did a version of, I think, Crawling.
That was good.
Oh man, it was like, I got chills because, dude, he sounded just like fucking Chester, man. Like, he did a great fucking job. It was just slightly different enough that it wasn't him. You could tell it was someone else, but it was so close that I was like, damn, that's
feasible.
That's feasible. That's respectful, because you're keeping Chester's sound alive. This is not doing that.
I don't think it has to be that.
I don't think it does either.
It's somewhere in between. It's like, it has to be close enough to what you would expect out of Linkin Park, but it's also different enough that this person kind of contributes their own flavor to the band themselves. Yeah.
So that's who I would have gone with, is that dude from Hollywood Undead.
I think what would be cool going forward is if they just decided, we're just gonna flip artists, or rather flip vocalists every year. It's gonna be somebody new every fucking year.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be fun. Like, that'd be kind of cool.
I think that would be cool. And also, if they were to have just come out and said, yeah, it's gonna be one album, one tour with a new vocalist every year or every 2 years or whatever the case is going to be. Maybe we get one album and 2 tours out of them, and then they're already working on the next album with the next vocalist. That kind of would have been really cool, and also a respectful way to say, there's no single person that could ever replace Chester Bennington, so we have to fucking change it every single time we do an album.
Yeah.
That would have been a cool fucking honorable way to do this.
And also, if the numbers reflect somebody is worth keeping around.
Yeah. Because that would be the metric.
That would determine, like, you know what? Let's fucking keep this dude around. This works. We like this dude. It's working with the fans. Like, they enjoy it. We enjoy it. Let's roll with that.
Let's do a second album with them. And then if that does well, cool. Maybe we'll just keep it rolling and see how it goes.
Yeah.
But again, it was very strategic why this was the way it was. Also, the reason I think the tickets were cheaper than what they should have been is because they opened it up originally to Linkin Park paid members. That was who could get, like, as you went down the paid membership tier of their Linkin Park Underground, you got tickets. That's how the tickets were released, and then some shit was released to the general public.
Well, fuck, man, you figure there's 21 million, or perhaps even more. There's 21 million Linkin Park fans, and there's probably 5 million here locally in Los Angeles. Those tickets would sell out rather quickly.
I'm not interested in seeing Linkin Park featuring Emily Armstrong. Again, I mean, Katie and I talk, because Katie loves Amy Lee from Evanescence. I told her, I'm like, hey, if they were to do a tour with Amy Lee, fuck yeah, we're going, because I'd love to see that. But I don't want to see this shit. And also, you can't tell me that I'm not a fucking supporter of Linkin Park, or I'm not a fan, because I don't support this thing that they're doing. My support of what they're doing currently has nothing to do with the history and the fandom that I've had over the last 20 plus years of being around with them. So this, just because I can't go with them on this one and I don't think it's right, doesn't mean that I don't not like the other shit that they've done in the past. I'm not going to stop listening to the Linkin Park songs that and the whole back catalog with Chester. I am going to listen to this new album just because I'm curious to see what it sounds like.
Indeed.
Also, Mike Shinoda saying that whole thing that he said about how, if we would have come back, we thought about coming back as something else. Because he said that in that Zane Lowe interview too. We thought about coming back as something, or maybe it was the other one.
The Chicago like art.
Yeah, maybe it was that one. But he had that line where he says we thought about coming back as something else, but then we just thought it wouldn't be disingenuous. This is the most Linkin Park it's ever been. Oh yeah, what is wrong with you? Why would you say that? You're just gonna piss off everybody.
The fact. All right. I'm still kind of figuring out the thing about the set list, right?
Yeah.
Because that is rather fucking insane that for a band that just reunited, that you're trying to sell new music to people, or you're trying to sell this new incarnation and the music itself to the people, and you didn't play one fucking song, one single, the one single that they just released. You're not going to fucking play that?
Yeah.
That means for sure they weren't confident that if they played half the record or 1/3 of the record on top of 18 songs that they probably took from the entire the back catalog of Linkin Park, right? They're like, no, we have to just do it all the old stuff.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can sell these tickets. And plus, as you were saying, it only makes sense to tour this album based on how the sample data that they get from these 6 shows. But who's going to miss the opportunity? As I said before, people are invested in nostalgia. People from, I don't know how many dates they have, but everybody that never had the opportunity to go see Linkin Park, and especially in other countries, they're not going to miss this opportunity. And they certainly, I don't think this band would do them dirty by playing them 12 songs of From Zero, this new album, like because then you basically go home pissed off, anyways.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
because you're like, I wanted to hear Crawling or Numb or whatever song you wanted to hear. So it's not about fucking Chester, because it's if that was taken into consideration, they would have started day fucking one. New songs all the way through.
Oh, you know what? My bad. I forgot. They did play the single, "The Emptiest Machine." That was like somewhere in the middle. I missed that one.
But it was one song.
It was the only song they played from the new thing. They played one single and 26 other fucking hits. Like, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
I mean, you want to entice people too with the.
Why wouldn't you pay these people who pay to see you live? Why wouldn't you maybe debut 3 songs?
3 songs, but the 2 that you talked about that come from the vault.
That were never done
released, that were probably done with Chester. Why the fuck would you play them?
Yeah, why would you let her be the one to do them live for the first time ever? That's insane.
Or unless those 2 songs are done by Mike Shinoda as if he were the only person doing the vocals. I that part I don't know. But if that's the case, then I guess it would seemingly be all right. But if it's Chester, then it's like that shit doesn't make sense. Why would you do that?
Yeah, I don't fucking get that. Why you would do that.
But anyways, I think if anybody's a Linkin Park fan, I would recommend listening, or rather going to their YouTube channel and watching this interview, because like I said, man, I still stand by what I said about how overcompensating or how defensive Mike Shinoda was when Emily Armstrong talks about being integrated into Linkin Park, and how the first thing she says is fucking managers and booking agents. That is the strangest thing ever. It's if you were gonna come at this from a genuine place, why are these assholes that are invested in the money? They're only invested in you because they're gonna make you money. Why was that ever brought up? Like, why wasn't it just, we're bringing back Linkin Park together because we wanted to fucking do it?
Yeah. That basically, and those 2 songs, by the way, those songs both heavily feature Chester Bennington. So that's
okay. Then no, it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. It doesn't fucking work.
All right. So
anyways,
we talked about this fucking topic
ad nauseum. Jesus
so.
Christ, 40 minutes we did on this. But
I mean, shit,
it's worth it. It's worth talking about. And as these things continue to happen with this thing. I mean, yeah, we're going to be talking about this. This is probably, in my opinion, the most controversial story in music right now.
Oh yeah, it definitely is.
So yeah, if it's fucking still popping, we're going to keep talking
I take that back.
Is there another one?
David Grohl announcing that he has a fucking secret love child. Well, actually, it's not so secret anymore. But my theory is that the tabloids threatened to release this information.
So he just did it?
He got in front of it. He's like, no, I'm just going to say it.
Man, that's not even as controversial as this. Who gives a fuck? He's a rock star. Of course he's got 25 bastards rolling around somewhere, all right? Like,
yeah, he's like, oh, to my wife of 27 years, I'm trying to regain the trust of my family. Motherfucker, you have a history of fucking cheating. So it's like, if anything, you're just creating a portfolio of why people shouldn't trust you.
yeah, true.
So that was the latest thing that happened with fucking Dave Grohl, the good guy. Hey, I don't know, man.
Hey, Dave, you know what?
What can you expect, right?
If you want to come on here and talk to us, we'll talk to you at All Gas No Trash, right?
The rock star lifestyle, right? It's like,
let's talk about all the bitches you fucked. Come on, like
what kind of person would you be if you didn't at least dabble in some fucking drugs, some infidelity, and all kinds of stupid shit? So.
Yeah, that's pretty much the lifestyle, right? So, anyways, all right. Well, that'll be it for us. If you want to listen to more, you can go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Well, I already said YouTube, but fuck, I'll say it again. YouTube. Go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine. Also, if you want to follow this podcast and Adam, you can follow him at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. And if you like the animes and mangas, you can follow Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right, that does it for us. Catch you on the next one. Hopefully,
we got 5 episodes on. Well, I think 4.
No, we just did 2, and we have 3 more album reviews coming out.
In total
for
possibly
this week.
coming out this week.
So you guys are going to have a ton of shit to listen to. So you're welcome.